The problem nobody talks about. You manifested the money. It showed up. You did the work, aligned your frequency, and the universe delivered. The check came. The client paid. The opportunity materialized. And then, within days or weeks, it's gone. You spent it, lost it, gave it away, or somehow it just disappeared back into the void. You can get money to show up, but you can't seem to hold onto it. Here's what nobody's telling you. Manifesting money is easy. Holding it is advanced. Getting abundance to arrive is beginner-level manifestation. Stabilizing abundance so it stays, accumulates, and compounds, that's the real work. And until you understand the quantum mechanics of wealth stabilization, you'll keep experiencing the frustrating cycle of manifestation and immediate dissipation. Let me explain what quantum wealth stabilization is and why it's a completely different skill than manifestation. Manifestation is about collapsing possibility into reality, getting money to show up in your physical experience. But once it shows up, it exists in an unstable state unless you have the capacity to hold it. Think of it like catching water in your hands. You can get water to flow into your hands, but if your hands aren't cupped properly, the water runs right through and you're left with nothing. Your abundance capacity is your system's ability to receive, hold, and maintain wealth without immediately dissipating it. This capacity is determined by your nervous system regulation, your identity coherence, your energetic field stability, and your habituated relationship with having versus acquiring. Most people have developed capacity for acquiring money. They know how to work for it, manifest it, attract it. But they haven't developed capacity for having it, which is why it disappears as fast as it arrives. The reason this happens is that your nervous system has different states for pursuing money versus possessing money. The pursuit state is familiar. You've been in it most of your life. You know how to want money, work for it, stress about not having it. Your nervous system is calibrated for the pursuing state. But when money actually arrives and you shift into the possessing state, your nervous system doesn't know what to do. This unfamiliar state triggers regulation mechanisms that dissipate the money so you return to the familiar pursuing state. This creates what I call the manifestation dissipation loop. You manifest money, familiar pursuit ends, unfamiliar possession begins, which triggers nervous system alarm. This state is unfamiliar/unsafe, which activates dissipation behaviors, spending, losing, giving away, which returns you to pursuit state, familiar/safe, which enables manifestation again. Round and round you go, perpetually able to get money but unable to keep it. You're stuck in the getting phase, never stabilizing in the having phase. Quantum wealth stabilization is the practice of developing capacity to hold money in a stable state, to possess it without immediately needing to do something with it, to accumulate it without anxiety, to let it exist in your account without the compulsion to spend or give it away. This is advanced work because it requires nervous system regulation at the level of having, not just the level of pursuing. It requires identity that includes sustained possession, not just momentary acquisition. The stakes are high because without stabilization capacity, you can't build wealth. You can create income, but you can't create assets. You can manifest money, but you can't compound it. You're perpetually starting from zero, manifesting just enough to meet immediate needs, then dissipating back to zero. This keeps you in survival mode financially, never able to build the cushion, the security, the freedom that comes from accumulated wealth. Understanding stabilization also explains why you might be great at manifesting specific amounts but terrible at keeping them. Your manifestation skill might be advanced, but your stabilization capacity is still developing. It's like being great at filling a leaky bucket. You can get water flowing in quickly, but it drains out just as fast through holes you haven't plugged. The solution isn't manifesting more money faster. The solution is developing capacity to hold the money that's already showing up. The quantum aspect of stabilization is that money exists in a probability field until you stabilize it through observation and regulation. When money first arrives, it's in a volatile state, high potential for either staying or dissipating. Your observation, how you think about it, feel about it, relate to it, and your regulation, nervous system state, behaviors, decisions, collapse that probability field into either stability or dissipation. Most people unconsciously collapse toward dissipation because that's what returns them to familiar. Stabilization is consciously collapsing toward keeping. The neuroscience of abundance capacity. To develop quantum wealth stabilization, you need to understand the neuroscience of why your system dissipates money. This isn't about willpower or discipline. It's about how your brain and nervous system process the state of having wealth. Once you understand the mechanisms, you can work with them instead of against them. The first mechanism is what neuroscientists call hedonic adaptation. Your brain quickly adapts to positive changes, returning to baseline emotional state. When money first arrives, you feel excitement, relief, joy, dopamine floods your system. But within hours or days, your brain down-regulates dopamine receptors to return to baseline. The money is still there, but you don't feel good about it anymore. This creates an unconscious drive to do something with the money, spend it, use it, give it away, to get another dopamine spike. You're chasing the feeling of receiving rather than developing capacity to feel good about possessing. There's also the scarcity imprinting effect. If you grew up with financial scarcity, your brain encoded having money is temporary, scarcity is permanent. When money shows up, your brain doesn't interpret it as a new normal. It interprets it as a temporary deviation from the scarcity norm. So it expects and even creates the return to scarcity. Your brain is trying to align reality with its deeply encoded expectation, which means dissipating the money to restore normal scarcity. Your prefrontal cortex, responsible for long-term planning and delayed gratification, also plays a role. When you're in survival mode, which scarcity creates, your prefrontal cortex is partially offline and your limbic system, emotional, impulsive brain, is in control. The limbic system wants immediate gratification, immediate relief from the discomfort of having money you're not used to having. So it drives spending, giving, or losing behaviors that provide immediate emotional relief at the cost of long-term stability. There's also a phenomenon called cognitive dissonance around wealth. If your identity is, I'm someone who doesn't have money, but you currently have money, your brain experiences uncomfortable dissonance between identity and reality. To resolve this dissonance, your brain either changes your identity, hard, or changes your reality, easier. It changes reality by dissipating the money, which realigns reality with identity. You literally spend or lose money to maintain identity coherence, even though that identity is limiting. Your stress response system also affects stabilization capacity. Money, even having it, can be stressful if you're not used to it. You might stress about losing it, about making wrong decisions with it, about people's reactions to you having it. This stress activates your sympathetic nervous system, which impairs decision-making and creates impulsive behaviors. Under stress, you make poor money choices that dissipate wealth. The stress of having money becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that removes the money, which relieves the stress. There's also the neurological pattern of poverty consciousness, neural pathways that have been strengthened through years of scarcity thinking. These pathways automatically activate when you have money, generating thoughts like, this won't last, I should spend it before I lose it, I don't deserve this, something bad will happen. These thoughts aren't truth, they're well-worn neural pathways firing automatically. But they drive behaviors that dissipate wealth to confirm the poverty consciousness pattern. Your mirror neuron system contributes to dissipation too. If everyone around you lives paycheck to paycheck, your mirror neurons keep you aligned with that pattern. When you start to accumulate money, your mirror neurons signal deviation from the tribe, which feels threatening to belonging. To restore tribal alignment, you unconsciously dissipate money to match your environment. Your brain prioritizes social belonging over financial security because belonging is a survival need. Finally, there's the oxytocin-driven impulse to give money away. Giving activates oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which feels good. If you're uncomfortable with having money, giving it away provides both oxytocin reward and relief from possession discomfort. This isn't generosity, it's nervous system regulation through dissipation. True generosity comes from overflow. Compulsive giving comes from inability to hold. Learning to distinguish between the two is crucial for stabilization. Building your abundance holding capacity. Now let's get practical about how to actually develop quantum wealth stabilization, the capacity to receive, hold, and maintain money without immediately dissipating it. This is about training your nervous system, upgrading your identity, and creating new neural pathways around possession rather than just pursuit. The foundational practice is what I call non-reactive possession. When money arrives, practice just letting it sit without doing anything with it for a specific period. Maybe 48 hours, maybe a week. This isn't about good financial planning, though that matters too. This is about training your nervous system that it's safe to have money, that possession doesn't require immediate action, that you can hold without collapsing into spending. The discomfort you feel during this period is your nervous system adjusting to the unfamiliar state of having. Breathe through it without acting on it. Implement deliberate accumulation practices, consciously building savings or reserves even in small amounts. Start with whatever feels manageable. Maybe $50, maybe $500. The amount matters less than the practice of watching money accumulate in your account without touching it. You're creating visual and energetic evidence that you can hold money, which rewires the neural pathways of dissipation. Each time you see the growing balance and don't dissipate it, you strengthen stabilization capacity. Practice what I call gratitude for possession versus gratitude for receiving. Most people are grateful when money arrives but don't maintain gratitude for the money they already have. Shift your focus to daily gratitude for the money sitting in your account right now. I'm grateful I have this money. I'm grateful it's here. I'm grateful I can hold it. This trains your nervous system that the having state is positive, which reduces the drive to escape it through dissipation. Work with identity statements that emphasize holding rather than just receiving. Instead of "money flows to me easily," try "I hold money easily and comfortably." Instead of "I'm a powerful manifester," try "I'm someone who maintains wealth." You're shifting identity from pursuer to possessor, from manifester to stabilizer. This identity shift is crucial because your behaviors automatically align with who you believe you are. Create what I call spending friction, intentional barriers between impulse and action when it comes to money. This might be a 24-hour waiting period before any non-essential purchase, or a practice of writing down why you want to spend before spending. You're not restricting yourself harshly, you're creating space between urge and action where conscious choice can occur. Often, the urge to dissipate passes if you don't act on it immediately, which proves you can hold rather than spend. Develop somatic capacity for holding by practicing being with the physical sensations that arise when you have money. Your body might feel anxiety, tension, restlessness, the somatic signature of your nervous system's discomfort with possession. Instead of dissipating money to relieve these sensations, practice breathing through them, relaxing your body, and proving to your system that these sensations aren't dangerous. Your body can learn that having money is safe. Build environmental reinforcement for stability. Automate savings so money moves to holding accounts without requiring willpower. Create visual representations of your accumulation. Maybe a chart showing growing savings, maybe a vision board depicting financial stability. Surround yourself with people who demonstrate healthy wealth holding, not just wealth acquisition. Your environment should reinforce stabilization, not tempt dissipation. Practice receiving without immediately redistributing. This is especially important for generous people who manifest money and immediately give it all away. True generosity requires first receiving fully into yourself, feeling the abundance, letting it stabilize in your field, and then giving from genuine overflow rather than from discomfort with possession. Learn to receive completely before you give, which develops holding capacity. Finally, work with micro-stabilization practice, holding small amounts successfully before attempting large ones. If you can't hold $500 without dissipating it, you won't be able to hold $5,000. Master stabilization at smaller levels, prove to your nervous system it's safe, then gradually increase the amounts you hold. Each successful stabilization builds capacity for the next level. The quantum field dynamics of money stability. Beyond neuroscience, there are quantum field dynamics that affect whether money stabilizes or dissipates in your reality. Understanding these dynamics helps you work with the field to create stable abundance rather than volatile manifestation dissipation cycles. The first principle is energetic coherence around possession. When money arrives, if part of you feels good about it but another part feels guilty, undeserving, or anxious, you have incoherence. This energetic incoherence creates instability in the quantum field, which manifests as the money dissipating. For money to stabilize, all parts of your field, conscious mind, subconscious, body, emotions, energy, need to be coherent around "it's good and safe that I have this money." There's also the principle of observation frequency. In quantum mechanics, what you observe most frequently becomes most real. If you manifest money but then ignore it, don't look at your account, don't acknowledge it, don't actively appreciate it, you're not observing it enough to stabilize it in your reality. The quantum field needs consistent observation to maintain manifestation. Practice daily observation of your money. Look at your balance, acknowledge its presence, appreciate its existence. This consistent observation stabilizes it in the physical realm. The field also responds to your energetic relationship with having versus acquiring. Acquiring is active, young energy, pursuing, striving, making things happen. Having is receptive, in energy, allowing, maintaining, being with what is. Most people are trained in acquiring energy but uncomfortable in having energy. The discomfort creates field instability that dissipates wealth. Developing ease with receptive, having energy creates field stability that allows accumulation. There's a quantum principle of attractor field strength that's relevant here. An attractor field is a stable energetic pattern that draws aligned circumstances toward it. When you manifest money but immediately dissipate it, you're creating a weak, unstable attractor field. But when you hold money, you're strengthening your attractor field, which draws more money toward you with less effort. Stabilization isn't just about keeping what you have, it's about creating the field strength that attracts more. The field also operates on resonance patterns. If your dominant energetic pattern is get money, lose money, that's the cycle the field perpetuates. But if you can establish a new pattern of get money, keep money, get more money, the field begins to resonate with this new pattern and supports it. You're literally programming the field through your stabilization practice. The more you successfully hold money, the more the field expects and supports you holding money. There's also the concept of quantum potential energy versus kinetic energy. When money is in motion, coming in, going out, being spent, being given away, it's kinetic. When money is held, accumulated, sitting in your account, it's potential. Potential energy is powerful because it represents possibility, it generates interest, literally and figuratively, and it creates security that allows you to make better decisions. Learning to value potential energy as much as kinetic energy helps you stabilize rather than constantly dissipate. The field responds to what I call wealth gratitude versus scarcity gratitude. Scarcity gratitude is, I'm grateful for this money because I didn't have it before and might not have it again. This reinforces scarcity consciousness even while being grateful. Wealth gratitude is, I'm grateful for this money and for all the money that continues to flow to me. This assumes ongoing abundance, which the field responds to by creating ongoing abundance. Your gratitude should assume plenty, not scarcity. Finally, there's the quantum principle of stable states requiring less energy to maintain than unstable states. Initially, holding money feels like it requires enormous energy because it's unfamiliar. But once you establish stability, maintaining it requires far less energy than the constant cycle of manifesting and dissipating. You shift from the exhausting volatility of up and down to the ease of sustained stability. The field supports stable states because they're energetically efficient. Living in quantum wealth stability. Once you've developed true quantum wealth stabilization capacity, your entire financial reality transforms. You're no longer on the manifestation-dissipation roller coaster. You've mastered both getting money and keeping money, which means you can finally build, accumulate, and compound wealth. Here's what this integrated state looks like and how to maintain it. The first sign you've achieved stabilization is that having money feels normal rather than anxiety-producing. You can look at your bank balance without stress, without the immediate urge to spend it, without guilt or fear. The money just exists in your account and you feel neutral to positive about its existence. This normalization is evidence that your nervous system has recalibrated. Possession is now familiar and safe. You also notice that money accumulates rather than just flowing through. Your balance grows month over month instead of spiking and crashing. You're creating assets, not just income. You have cushion, reserves, options. This accumulation creates a completely different quality of life. Less stress, better decisions, more freedom. And it happened not because you manifested dramatically more money, but because you stopped dissipating what was already coming in. Your relationship with spending completely transforms. Instead of impulse spending to relieve discomfort with having money, you spend consciously from a place of choice and abundance. You can want something, not buy it, and feel fine. You can have money available and choose to keep it available rather than needing to use it. This delayed gratification comes naturally now because you've developed capacity to be comfortable with possession. You experience what I call wealth breathing, a natural rhythm of receiving and giving that flows from overflow rather than from depletion. Money comes in and you hold it, let it accumulate, let it create security and options. Then, from that place of overflow, you spend, give, and invest in ways that feel generous and wise rather than compulsive and regret-inducing. You found the balance between tight-fisted hoarding and unconscious dissipation. Your manifestation actually improves because you've proven to the field that you can handle what you manifest. The field trusts you with larger amounts because you've demonstrated stabilization capacity. It's like the universe saying, okay, they can hold 10,000 without dissipating it, let's see if they're ready for 50,000. Your capacity determines what the field sends, and stabilization capacity unlocks higher levels of manifestation. You develop what I call financial immune system, the ability to maintain your wealth stability even when life presents unexpected expenses or opportunities. Before stabilization, any disruption would collapse your entire financial reality. After stabilization, you can handle challenges without reverting to chaos. You have resilience, flexibility, and the capacity to maintain your baseline even through difficulty. Perhaps most importantly, you experience the psychological freedom that comes with knowing you can keep what you create. There's no point manifesting more if you can't hold what you already have. But once you know you can hold it, manifesting becomes exciting rather than pointless. You're building towards something, not just maintaining survival. This hope and possibility transforms your entire relationship with wealth creation. Living in quantum wealth stability also means you've become a model for others. People see that you don't just manifest money, you maintain it. You demonstrate that abundance can be sustained, not just momentarily accessed. This creates ripple effects in your community, showing others what's possible when you develop holding capacity alongside manifestation capacity. So here's your path forward. Stop focusing exclusively on manifesting more and start developing capacity to hold what's already coming. Practice non-reactive possession. Build your tolerance for having money without dissipating it. Train your nervous system that possession is safe. Create identity as someone who maintains wealth, not just someone who acquires it. Work with the quantum field to stabilize your financial reality rather than leaving it in constant flux. Because manifesting money is easy, it's beginner work. Holding money is advanced. And mastering both is what creates lasting, accumulated, compounded wealth. This is quantum wealth stabilization, and it's the missing piece in your abundance journey. Learn to keep what you manifest, and watch your entire financial reality transform from volatile to stable, from survival to thriving, from temporary to permanent.